The rapist who believes in atheists and materialism, that only nature exists and therefore nature makes you do everything, says, nature made me do it. Atheism is so liberating. If I could wave a magic wand and get rid of either rape or religion, I would not hesitate to get rid of religion, said Sam Harris. Pooh! Stamp approval. Approved. North Korea. The murderer who believes atheists that nature is all that exists and therefore nature makes you all that you are, says, nature made me do it. I'm actually a victim of nature and innocent. A consistent atheist in the comments section. Nature made me lie. You can do what you decide to do, but you cannot decide what you will decide to do. I contradict myself, aren't I wise? I can speak the lie, but I did not decide to lie. Blame nature. Responsibility isn't my thing. I just justified all criminals by using pre-existing nature as a scapegoat and no one bats an eye. I pretend to be righteous even though I justified all evil ever by denying evil exists. I have justified whoever would rape my wife. Atheism makes a cuck out of you. I'm an accomplice to every criminal who ever was, is, or will be. I am good, though. So here is Sam Harris, atheist preacher, trapped in the confines of his delusion, assuming nature is all that exists. He cannot think outside the box. He cannot even account for thinking. Because to think, you need freedom to think, but in his world, everything is a slave to physics. You can't even account for thinking, man. Don't act like you're right. You can't even account for thinking. That's pathetic. I refuse to think outside the box because God's there. Accountability in an afterlife is there. The hell with that. I like my comfort zone. Thinking freely is scary. I believe in science, I do. I know that nature always existed because I said so, and I'm an expert. So shut up, noob. Don't think for yourself. Let us handle that. You need our guidance because you're an imbecile. IQ proves I'm smarter than your dark race by default. But I'm afraid of being an edgelord, lest I be shunned. Wait, hold on. I smell poop. Hey, look, it's a random ugly baby. Goo goo gaga, me candy. Dun, 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 dun. I'm a candy fiend. You have awakened the monster. And now, abominable baby, suffer my wrath. Any last words? But me atheist! In my cherry-picked ethics, I don't give a damn. Beep, 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 beep. Nature made me do it. Choice is an illusion. I have no choice, so I have no guilt. Glad there's no God to send me to hell, LMAO. That's the real reason I'm an atheist, that hope. I pissed myself from the excitement of theft. Life is lived on the edge, said Will Smith. I'm just a puppet of nature, so I can do anything. And I'll blame nature. YOLO! Science doesn't say that nature is all that exists. An observation with no known exception is a law in science, so life from life is a law. That implies God. Materialism implies all sex is bestiality. An atheist saying I love you is by their paradigm as empty as a robot programmed to say I love you. Nature made me say it. When Google's translator tells you she loves you, do you believe her? I love you. Of course you don't, because she was programmed to say that, and all she did was say it. It means nothing. So why do atheists act as if love is real? Artificial intelligence is a misnomer because matter cannot be free from physics in order to be free to think. But some people want Terminator to be real so bad that they will reject logic in favor of their fantasy. Maybe one day technology will be so advanced that the exact mannerisms of a body can be replicated by a robot convincingly, and a person's unique voice, such that a clone, so to speak, could be used to stage a counterfeit apparent resurrection. In such a case, the mind is not cloned, only imitated, by copying records of what the person said in their manner of speaking. That is essentially the same as a parrot repeating tone and vocabulary, no real AI. I would expect some atheists are itching to say science has explained love, but correlation is not causation brain-wise, and there are different types of love, equivocators. Atheism has no implications. It is only lack of belief in any god, they tell me. That's a lie. How come atheists don't bow to Mecca? Is it back problems? Of course not. It's because you're an atheist, so atheism has implications. That's just one example. Richard Dawkins, atheist preacher, said, and sci-fi author, said, "We are atheists about most of the gods that societies have ever believed in. Some of us just go one god further." That's like saying you're a non-athlete because you play only one sport. Some of us just refuse to exercise. Karl Marx said, "Revolutions are the locomotives of history." Vladimir Lenin said, "You cannot make a revolution in white gloves." Che Guevara said, "La revolución is not an apple that falls when it is ripe. You have to make it fall." Kim Il-sung said, "The oppressed peoples can liberate themselves only through struggle. This is a simple and clear truth confirmed by history. Natural selection, survival of the fittest. We teach Mac revolution in North Korea. It is science. You dare question us, you die." Napoleon Bonaparte, "A revolution can be neither made nor stopped. The only thing that can be done is for one or several of his children to give it a direction. Pas dit of victories." Liberté, to lie. Égalité, for whites. Fraternité, for the rich. Napoleon crowned as emperor. He crowned himself, just like atheists. He decided to make himself emperor. As supported by the French, who were poisoned with liberalism already, he took the crown from the Pope, who was a heretic by the way, and placed it on his own head. An act of arrogance showing he was more powerful than the counterfeit church. So Napoleon spread liberalism throughout Europe. He was one of the worst plagues that ever hit Europe. The British boast against Napoleon saying they won, but he was actually the real winner. Because he was the biggest factor in why Britain became a liberal shithole with Londonistan as its capital. London has fallen. Liberalism poisoned Europe. I'm a Spaniard and I prefer Muslims ruling Al-Andalus again than liberals defiling my ancestral homeland. Better Muslims than atheists in general. "I cannot believe in a God who wants to be praised all the time," said Friedrich Nietzsche. That's stupid than saying, "I don't respect an author who keeps their copyright." Mao Zedong said, "To read too many books is harmful." Karl Marx, "The education of all children, from the moment that they can get along without a mother's care, shall be in state institutions at state expense." Mark Twain said, "It's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled." Education consists mainly of what we have unlearned. I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. In the first place, God made idiots. This was for practice. Then he made school boards. Funny, but God made man pure. Man chose to err. Joseph Stalin said, "Education is a weapon whose effects depend on who holds it in his hands and at whom it is aimed." Goebbels said, "Propaganda works best when those who are being manipulated are confident that they are acting on their own free will." Maximilien Robespierre, "The secret of freedom lies in educating people, whereas the secret of tyranny is in keeping them ignorant." The best slave thinks he's free. A lie told once remains a lie, but a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth, said Goebbels. He alone who owns the youth gains the future. Adolf Hitler. Nazism is going to be covered next, God willing.